Confidence is about how you see yourself. Welcome to the Uniquely Confident Podcast.
Positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. It's your boy, RJ Deacon. And
it is Coach Mo, your number one women's empowerment coach. What it is.
And this is the Uniquely Confident Podcast. What it do, family? Your Mo is shaking.
What's good? I'm chilling. Feeling good, feeling great. Well, we're gonna talk about it. But God is good, God is great.
Come on now. At all times. He is all good at all times.
Hallelujah.
Come on, and his praises shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make a boast. All right, let me stop playing.
He is worthy to be praised. Amen, amen, amen.
Yo, it's so crazy because like the more I become spiritually free, the more I'm able to literally worship God and really in that freedom, in that truth, and like not worry about what my peers say, what my environment entails. You know what I'm saying? Like it's liberating. Like it's like a new level of freedom.
You talking to somebody who used to go to work and read her Bible on lunch break. And I wish the folks would.
Now, you know what? Let's start this episode off right before we get in trouble. First things first, you know we gotta talk to the man upstairs because we gotta get our minds right. Yeah, listen, Father God, we thank you. We appreciate you and we thank you for everything that you do for us. And we can't thank you enough. We can't. It's impossible. You do too much for us. So right now, God, in this fragment of time that we are spending together, we want to say thank you. And we want to say we appreciate you. And we also want to ask you to bless us. Cover us as we go across these airwaves. And we may say something to benefit someone in their character and confidence building journey. These are our prayers. Please go forward before we go forward. And we know that everything will be just fine. These things we do pray in the matchless name of the Most High. Amen.
Amen, amen, amen.
All right. So today's conversation is going to be a transparent one. If I can find that sound, I'm gonna put it in here, right? And dramatic. Now we're gonna talk about the benefits of being transparent when it comes to character and confidence development.
Sounds good.
You know what I'm saying? And I think I would like to call myself and deem myself Mr. Transparent himself, because believe it or not, my transparency has got me in trouble with my wife because
you don't say.
Yeah, tell me about it. When I first started this whole journey, there were some things about our relationship that she didn't want me to publicly display, and I did. I spoke about them publicly on Clubhouse when the app was first brand new, and she wasn't okay with it, and she let me know about it, and we discussed it. And come to find out that the reason why she didn't want me to speak about it was that she wasn't over it yet. She wasn't over our past traumas and our situations in our relationship. So me being transparent about them and genuinely coming from a genuine and positive space about it, right? Not being boastful, not being condescending in any way about the situation. It was just still a sore wound for her that she wasn't ready to expose to the world.
Yeah.
And that was a situation where my transparency got me into trouble. So I was like, ooh, okay. But it also gave me an opportunity to help heal that wound, right? Because I didn't know that it still festered as it did for her. So that also gave me an opportunity for growth, right? It taught me when to speak, when not to speak, right? And it also taught me how to see and care for my wife on another level. So there are some perks. There are some perks, though, to being transparent, though. Now, we're going to talk about those things tonight. Well, today, whenever you catch this podcast. And we're going to discuss the benefits of it, right? That's what we're going to dig into now. So, Mo, what you got for the benefits of being transparent? As a matter of fact, do you feel like being transparent right now?
Yeah, I'm always transparent. Yeah,
I'm transparent right now. What you dealing with?
Well, okay. Benefits of transparency, huge benefits. huge benefits. And I'm a person who is transparent and who is open about my story. Now, do I spew all the words? That's how you gotta think. See, I don't like. You see what happened when he tried to tease me? You see, y'all. See, go ahead. Breathe. Open up. Put your hands up. Breathe. Get the air in your lungs. Go ahead. Yeah. All right. You all right?
Yes, Auntie, I'm good.
Okay, good.
Put your hands up.
That's for real. They got that out your lung, didn't it?
Okay. Yo, but now I'm laughing so hard because when you was doing that with the eye, I thought you was winking. And if anybody know Mo,
Was not
she
winking.
does not like winking.
No,
Okay?
it's not winking. Okay.
Don't wink at Mo.
No.
Don't do this when you see Mo, y'all.
Do not wink at me. I will look at you like, what are you doing?
Okay.
So transparency, for me, is really important, but you have to know where you are in the situation. Okay, so transparency is not spewing all of your issues and problems over the internet or the webs or whoever you're speaking to, because sometimes people call that transparency, but really you're bleeding on the person.
Right.
You're still wounded and you're bleeding all over the person. And something that you said was really good, because especially as a single person, you can be a lot more transparent with your own story, and it includes you. It might include some other people, but you're not connected to them. But as a married person, you do have that extra responsibility that you might be through it, but your partner's bleeding all over people because they not through it yet. So and vice versa. This happens. But again, transparency is important because it gives you ownership.
Mm-hmm.
It is a it is what is the word? It signifies that you have owned your story. That's what I'm trying to say. It lets everyone know that you own your story, and the people who might be afraid to own their story, it gives them the confidence and to own their own story and tell their story without bleeding all over people, but tell the story and give their testimony, and really give some revelation to people. So it's important to be transparent about your story, about things that's going on, or you have overcome, for yourself. It does build your confidence. It does make you stronger in who you are and understanding yourself. And when other people can understand you better, that's a confidence booster as well. The
Right.
better you are with expressing who you are, and people getting that's a confidence booster. To feel understood, to feel heard, confidence booster. So
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that all human beings desire. We have a desire to be a part of, right?
Yeah.
To be approved by others. Like that's a natural thing. And to be honest, like that's the one way you get it, like by being transparent about who you are, what you're going through.
Yeah.
Like I don't tell people what I'm going through or show my life to boast or for likes, you know what I'm saying? For the accolades. I do it because there's somebody out there that doesn't see that kind of things. They don't see a man going through his emotional journey publicly. Like people don't see young men taking care of their families, learning how to be a man on the job, right? Like this is what my story is all about. Like I'm literally showing my journey because I want a young man to know, like, yo, you don't have to go that route that you thought you did, right? Like the benefit and for me being transparent is it boosts my confidence, but it also boosts the confidence of the people around me in me, right? Like
Yes.
so for my wife, right? Like so now the more that I tell her, like, yo, I'm hurting because let's say he's gonna come out today. One of the clips comes out at 11:45 today of my podcast when I spoke about that when I found out that my real father, I've known him my entire life, but I've known him as my mom's mechanic. And I knew him as my mom's mechanic because their relationship was under the covers. He had a whole family. My mother was in a motorcycle gang, and they hit it off, and they was doing their thing on the side. Here I go, show up out of nowhere. It's like, oh,
Kaboom!
hey, I'm the sex walking around, right? Like,
I wasn't expecting that to be the next sentence, y'all.
Yo, well, I'm gonna say what I want to say. So listen, y'all know. Oh well, y'all don't know. Well, me and Mo talk about in the green rooms how I refer to my children. I refer to my children as my sex walking. Like me and my wife, where she looks at me and like, babe, look at our sex walking around the house. So, if you ever want to get a good chuckle, I hope that makes you laugh.
That's hilarious because it's really true. That's what we all are.
Yes, we are walking sex.
I'm so sorry. That is hilarious.
Yo, so my pain that that came from like like not being able to have him in my life because there's a void, right? Like my stepfather did the best he could, right? He had his hang-ups and his things that he could do, but he did the best he could with what he had. But no matter how great of a father he could have been or would have been, it still wouldn't match the void that I have in my heart for my biological father. That there's no way you can replace that. You can't. So, but the more transparent I became about that with my wife, she began to see why I am the way I am.
Yeah.
And that begins to create confidence in her, letting her know, like, yo, he's not just a jerk when he's going off. There's something wrong. Like, he's still dealing with a pain somewhere. There's still something that he needs to get through.
Yeah.
That builds confidence. That builds love. That builds compassion between the two people. Because at the end of the day, if you can't be with the person you're with, it's like, who can you be real with?
Yeah.
Who can you be transparent with?
Mm-hmm. That's a good one because we all don't have the same experiences, and we all don't have the same training as well. Mm-hmm. There's some of us who are very empathic, and we don't have to go through it in order to understand that there's a pain there, there's a childhood hurt. That's usually where it comes from, all of that. But then, there's some of us who are like that, and then there's some of us who are like, I don't know what your problem is. You need to get it together. Because it's the next. So tighten up.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And for those people, it is important, especially if they are in a partnership, friendship, anything, to have you be open and transparent with each other so that they can have some empathy for you and show you some grace when you're going through, because we all go through life, and it's really tough for us to process some things. Some people are forever processing. I know I'm one of those people, forever processing things, and I'm forever growing up from that child who lost her mother. I'm forever being intentional about not being that 12-year-old who walked in the house and her mom was not there. Well, everybody was in the living room and I just wanted them to evaporate. I just wanted my mommy to be in that chair, but she was gone. They were there to support, but nobody could replace her.
Right.
Ever from that moment. I'm always doing what I can from the morning time, the moment I wake up in the morning, I'm doing what I can to hug that girl, tell her we're okay. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get through this day. And that is, that takes a lot of energy. And somebody could meet me 20 minutes after I wake up, and I might still be hugging her. She might need an extra, time. And now you're trying to talk to me about something else. And now I'm like, excuse you.
I'm in the middle of a hug over here. I'm in the middle of a hug.
Something. Can't you see? And you like, good morning to you too.
That was it. That was
everything okay. But for somebody who sees that, there's also, somebody who needs to understand that I'm still processing. Every morning, every day, we're still processing. We all have that. Now, there's people who walk around without They without awareness
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to do that, and they're just flowing through. And they 1 second they're nasty, 1 second they okay. They don't have a code.
Right.
But you know, we all transparency is important, y'all. Y'all need to be more open and honest with yourself. Be transparent with yourself. Let's start there. Because some of y'all are missing that. Y'all need to tell yourself the story that y'all went through. Because y'all act like y'all forgot.
Or not even that, like, because it was so crazy, Mo, and like shout out to Donnie, because it's nothing she helped me realize, like, what happened, it might not necessarily, the way you remember it might not necessarily be what really happened.
Oh,
right?
Man.
Like,
it's never. It's
right.
never the way it happened.
Right.
It's the way you processed it.
Exactly.
You
and
know?
Now when it's like, when I think about that, I go back to my memories and I say, oh, well, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Like, because when you start doing the connections, right, from back then till now, you couldn't have gotten to where you are without whatever that was.
Right.
It was specifically designed to get you where you are.
Yeah.
Like, so the more I began to realize that, and like, it freed me to be more transparent, because now it's like, yo, I'm not ashamed of that. Like, it was supposed to happen. Like, I didn't create this life for myself. Like, this life right here was already specifically designed. Like, I'm going along the journey that's already prepared. So I didn't do that. Like, I went through it. Yeah, it was a part of my journey, but that doesn't make me who I am. It's a part of me.
Yeah.
And that frees me to say, you know what? I can talk about my hurt. I can talk about my daddy issues, right? I can say, like, you know what? Some days I don't want to be a father. Like, some days I'm tired. Some days I just don't want to be somebody's parent. I can, and me saying that doesn't make me less of a man. Me saying that doesn't make me a bad father.
Mm-mm.
It makes me a real person.
Listen. Listen. You're burnt out at that very moment. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You are freaking tired. I'm tired and I don't like none of this.
Wow.
I don't like y'all. Get out my face. You look in the mirror, you like, and you. I'm sick of you. Okay? You the real one I'm really sick of, because I really can't escape you. Everybody else I can close the door, but then I gotta sit in here with you. You know?
All the time.
I'll never get a break from nobody. All of y'all.
All 20 of y'all talking up there.
Right? It really be that. It really be about it really be that. You know, I didn't realize I had to have a talk with somebody in full transparency. I had to have a talk with somebody last night.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm a worker. I'm a workerer, okay? If there's work to get done.
She's African. Translation.
Mm-hmm.
She's African.
Mm-hmm. And
like African.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. My daddy's second language is English.
Right.
First language is Hassani.
With her hands, African.
I do.
She's gonna teach me how to do it, y'all.
Yeah, it tastes better that way. Right. It's more flavor. Mm-hmm. Clean under your nails. It's not
right.
The that's more flavor.
Right. Yo, Mo, I watched a documentary about how they clean their hands in Africa.
Oh,
yo, that's crazy.
Yeah. Y'all keep trying to play my people, but a lot of y'all don't clean your hands after you go to the bathroom. Y'all nasty. My people do.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother did not play about that. She used to stand by the bathroom. I didn't have water on in there.
That's right. That's right.
Why is she standing by the door, Grandma?
Mama, can I be in peace?
Please. You listen to my water drop?
I'm trying to find out if you nasty or not. Because you know, some of y'all is nasty in here.
Listen, my grandmother not. Yo, let me tell y'all. Shout out to Grandma, because she used to G-check niggas like in the house before we leave the house. Like, me and my cousins be walking out for church. Line up. You know what that means. Raise your arms.
Ooh.
Let me see you think.
And y'all was funky sometimes.
Yeah, we had to raise our, because you would not go nowhere with my grandmother stinking. That's what that was. You will not go anywhere with me smelling like yesterday. That's her statement.
Some of y'all last night, because sometimes I don't know what's happening in y'all sleep, but y'all wake up funky. What's going on? Men, y'all different.
Nah. Let me tell you.
Y'all young. Y'all young. No.
I know we're going on somewhere else, but hold on. That's diet. That's dietary. Like if a man is perspiring through the night and waking up like he just finished playing ball, like there's dietary issues.
Oh, stop eating at McDonald's.
Facts.
Okay.
I haven't had McDonald's in over 15 years.
I'll still be getting the nuggets from time to time, but I probably haven't had it in like 5 years. But
I have a
have a nugget.
Nah, but like if my guilty pleasure is Chick-fil-A. Shout out to Chick-fil-A.
Oh no, we got that here now. I was just about to say,
Nah, y'all lit now. Y'all got a few.
But it's downtown. I'm not going downtown.
Oh, it's a travel. So whenever you downtown, you holler at Chick-fil-A though.
That's what's good. It's good.
Nah, but
what I was saying was, with transparency, I think some people hold back because of shame. And shame was never meant for us to connect to anything that was outside of us doing something consciously wrong.
Right.
What I'm saying is, you said your story was already your story before you made it.
Yeah, before my daddy shot me.
Before you walked around being anybody's sex, your story's already made, right? The fact that you are two people's sex. I don't even want to let my fingers touch when I say that. That's sex. The fact that you are two people's sex has all to do with the fact that you had nothing to do with even you being created to be here, right?
You had nothing to do with it.
So you have no need to hold on to shame.
It's not yours.
That is associated with somebody else's story. I know you're a part of their story, but this is not your shame to hold, right? Now, if your parents had shame around certain things, understandable. And also, you gotta let some of that shame go too, whoever you are. You know what I'm saying? If you do something that was wrong, you might feel ashamed, but once you ask for forgiveness and you know you're not gonna do it again, and you fixing, you rectify it, let that shame go. But a lot of us have shame connected to our stories, something that we had no control over. How could you be ashamed of something that you didn't even cause?
Right.
You have a right to tell your story, and you have a right to process it without thinking that you had you had control over it, because a lot of people think they got control over everything, and we really have control over nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Especially our story that we didn't, the part of our stories that we didn't create. You don't have control over that. Why would you be ashamed of that part?
And you know what's so crazy, Mo? Because we, for some reason, at some stage, we begin internalizing things. Right? Like if you're not, and this is why I tell my children all the time, like, yo, it's not your fault. And I don't allow them to apologize for things. It's like, yo, it's not your fault. Like you gotta understand what is your fault and what is not your fault. When you create something, when you become conscious enough to do things on your own, yes, you can then become apologizing for your behavior. But even then, it's not okay to internalize it, because a mistake is not what you are, is what you did. Yes. Right? So I tell my behavior now, especially with my own personal self, is allowing myself to be more grace than anything else in the world. Because like, yo, at the end of the day, this entire life you're living, it doesn't belong to you. It was literally given to you by your two parents. Yeah. Until you decide to own your life, right? By how do you own your life? Great question. I'm gonna tell you. You literally begin to check things, because everything from your name was given to you. Your birthday, your name, your religion. Most times your thought process is still not yours until you check that. Why do you think the way you think? Why do you feel the way you feel? Where do these things come from? And
some of them you'll never erase, because there's nothing new under the sun. some of your thought processes, some of your habits, some of them you'll never erase. They'll always be a part of you. And if you have children, they'll be a part of them too, because there's nothing new under the sun. Yeah.
Did you know that we're still operating with brains that started back in caveman days? Our brains didn't evolve, Mo. Here we are with all technology and everything else. Now we're still operating with the same technology that caveman operated with.
Bro,
How much grace, like how much, like do you think you can control in this life? And that's what the problem is.
This book I was reading, I haven't finished it yet because that's the way life goes. It's called Pitch Anything by Oren Clapp.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
And he talks about the croc brain. The croc brain is picky and a cognitive miser whose primary interest is survival. It doesn't like to do a lot of work and is high maintenance when it is forced to perform. It requires concrete evidence, presented simply in black and white, to make a decision. Minor points of differentiation don't interest it. And this is the brain to which most you are speaking to. This is the brain to which you are reasoning with. I don't want to hear the frills. I'm not here for that. What's the point?
Right.
That's the brain we're all using. Yes. Yes. Is it? And it's not even that the brain is saying, you know, oh, I gotta intellectualize. It's like, am I in trouble or not? Am I safe? Yes. Oh, I don't want to hear this. You know what I'm saying? So we all are functioning with that brain, and until we're intentional about how we are thinking and growing, and so that's what most of us. That's where a lot of society, the population in this world, is stuck in that croc brain.
Yeah, like it's crazy because our thought process, like I said, it's not even ours. Like you have to like really question things before it to become yours. And after you question, you got to really then be open to learn some things. Like even down to my spirituality. Like I had to open up my eyes and think to myself, like, yo, God is just more than the gospel church that we go to every Sunday. It's more than a Pentecostal domination, the domination, and we wear suits every Sunday and we shout and dance up and down the aisles for hours and pay offering, right, and listen to a word of God like that. It's bigger than just that. Mm-hmm. And the more I get older and I'm more transparent in my relationship with God, right, people around me begin to accept the fact that, like, yo, that he's not going to go for a certain amount of things, so I'm not going to even bring it to him. Mm-hmm. It creates that newfound boundary that you didn't even set yourself.
Yeah, and thinking, yeah, and hearing that too, when I think about it, just on a religion standpoint, you know, when you see a woman who is head covered, don't you see her different? Mm-hmm. Don't you see her different than a woman who is not even scantily dressed, but jeans and a shirt, where you see her figure? Don't a little bit, like, if in all transparency, don't you see them as kind of different?
And for a man's brain, I'm being very honest, it's a mystery. Like it's intriguing. It's more of a, I wonder what she looks like under there. Like,
right, but it's not all the way like, oh, I will make a sex with her.
I'll make a person with you.
Don't you feel like from what I understand, when you see that person, you feel like she has a different type of respect for herself than other people.
Yes, and yes.
But I mean, because I am connecting it to what you just said about people who have an outward, an outward connection to what they believe, how they believe in themselves. You treat them different. You don't just come around them trying to hump their legs. She got on a whole
right.
Sir, you don't think you just gonna walk up to her and talk to her and then meet her parents and then you don't have to marry her and give her a baby and leave her? You're not gonna do that. You know she come from a different cloth.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It definitely changes your approach.
Changes your
Absolutely.
approach.
It changes the dynamic of your attitude, right? Like how you approach a person, and even your thought process. Because like I speak about this in my content all the time. So many men struggle with speaking to women and being transparent about their natural wants and needs about interacting with a woman is because they're not pure intentions. Like,
man, listen.
Whenever your mind has to continue to roll while you're speaking, seriously,
you're
not
comfortable
in your speech. You're not comfortable in what you're saying because it's not authentic. It's not real to you. Yep. And you have a hidden fear in the back of your mind that's holding on to you because you said yourself, I might say the truth. I might say what's actually on my mind, and that scares the piss out of most men.
And most men don't understand that most women, I'm not saying all women, will accept your truth if only you would tell them the truth. And the ones that still accept truth but just don't like your truth for their life have a right to not be lied to about your truth. And you should be okay with her saying, listen, you seem like a nice dude, but I'm not into that. You know, best of luck to you in your endeavors. That's not for me. Why are y'all avoiding that? But y'all, you gonna fake the funk until she realizes who you are, and now it's a whole fiasco going on. Mm-hmm. Why you couldn't just tell her the truth from the beginning? So the beginning conversation could have been nice and sweet and ended like that, and then you could have went and found your type of woman who into all of that.
Because it's the internalizing factor again. Like whenever someone tells someone they don't want to be with them, the person that's getting the news always internalizes it as, "Oh, I'm not enough."
Or I would like you to reject me if I'm not the type of woman. I went on a date. All full transparency too. I went on a date a couple of weeks ago, and the second I looked at him, I saw that he wasn't interested, and he saw that I wasn't interested. Yes, we still sat down and had coffee together, and before I got my words together, I got a message to my phone. I can tell you're a great woman. You're beautiful. You're smart. You have all these things, but I didn't feel a connection. And I said, damn, he got to it before me. I said, thank you so much. I feel the same. Best of luck to you.
And that's that right
that's
there.
What I avoided.
It takes two confident individuals.
Yeah.
That was two confident individuals understanding that this situation doesn't dictate my worth or my value.
No, I just don't want you to waste my time. I'm so glad we had this conversation today.
Right.
Because later on, I'll call my big cousins on you. Now sorry. I didn't.
All right. All right. We're gonna commercial. I'll put a commercial right here.
Okay. Just kidding. Maybe.
No, but like to be honest, Mo, like it takes a confident individual to want to be transparent. Like I know it's like kind of backwards because it's like, in order to be confident, you got to be transparent. But in order to be transparent, you got to be confident.
Yeah, it's true.
It is. And to be honest, like in order for you to become transparent, you got to do the work by yourself first.
Yes.
Like, people don't know how many nights in this very office. Like, when I leave this house, we move and sell this house. I'm gonna like tell them like this room has more tears in here than the state probably allows. So you might have to like get like some kind of like new grant or permit. I mean, for room. Fill this room up with tears by myself. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like I found out who I really was in this room. Like. I truly did the work because now I can give a damn. Hear me and hear me well. I could give. I couldn't care less.
No way. No way. I have any less care than this. Like I could not care less than this.
This is the core of the level of care. Like this is the root of it. Like there's nothing left lower than the root. Like this is this is the baseline of my caring.
My care. Go. I don't. Where is it?
my care is at -1 million, right? Times infinity. So
infinity and beyond.
my name is the imperfect gentleman, implying that there's part of my life that we're not perfect. I'm not a perfect being. Why am I not perfect? Because God didn't make none of us that way, and I'm
None
just
of
one
us.
of the ones that okay with admitting it.
Mm.
And why am I okay with admitting it? Because I'm okay with me now. The little boy that was in the corner that I kept avoiding for all those years, I addressed him finally. I said hello to him. I acknowledged him.
Mm-hmm.
We did our crying. We did our emotional work. But now that young man is maturing.
Yeah.
That young man is now saying, yo, listen, I'm not scared of the shadows no more. Like the dark don't bother me. I'm not scared of the dark.
Yeah. You know, for me, it was more so, I was so sad. I was so sad for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be sad no more. It didn't have nothing to do with nobody else. I just felt left. I felt alone. I just felt sad. My mom passed away. I swear I ain't see family members. Maybe for my mother passed away in July 1997. By the next summertime, I ain't see nobody else I knew for the first 13 years of my life, except for my dad. That was traumatic. I felt left behind. And I had so many years that I just felt alone. And I just wanted to be happy. I didn't want to be anything else. I just wanted to feel like when I wake up in the morning, I feel like a kid. I feel free. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't feel that for many, many years. And so for me, my confidence came from not worrying about what anybody else felt about me, what anybody else thought about me. It came from looking for joy. Because happiness, comes and goes anyway. That's just a feeling. But joy, I mean, like really finding that inner freedom to be okay, to be satisfied. I really had to look for that hard in order to build my confidence. So, yes, in order to be confident, you have to be transparent. In order to be transparent, you do have to be confident. But the thing that comes before all of those things is search for your inner peace, your inner joy. Once you look for those things, you don't you will learn to not want anything to interrupt them as much as possible. And life is full of interruptions. So you want to be centered. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be centered as much of the day as I can be. I want to be centered. And I looked for all of those moments. I look for that center in all of my moments in all of my day. The further I get away from centered, the further I get away from my confidence. The further I get away from, you know, what I want out of life. The further I get away. And remember, I said what I want out of life is peace and joy. That's all I want. When we were little kids, we didn't want I mean, when we said I can't wait to grow up, that's because we about to get our butt whooped, or we did something we couldn't do what we wanted to do, because all we wanted was to live in peace. We just wanted to have fun. That's what you want. You want that inner child, that peace and that joy. So those are the things that help me build my confidence, looking for my inner peace and looking for my inner joy, whatever that was. And I did not let myself look for anything outside of me to bring that. So it wasn't about having a drink at night before I went to bed. It wasn't about, having a puff. It wasn't about eating myself into, you know,
Diabetes.
the sugars. I wasn't eating myself into the sugars, and the high salts. It wasn't about laying down with somebody.
Right.
It wasn't. It was the opposite. wanted, I wanted to get. I got away.
I got away.
I got away from everything that was not that didn't belong to me, solely to me. I connected with myself. Like you said earlier, you sit in that room by yourself and you think your thoughts and you don't run from them because really your thoughts be the one to be whooping you.
Kicking
Nobody
your
can beat
behind.
you up like your thoughts. Nobody can. So now that I master my thoughts, I wish you would. I wish you would tell me about me. Go ahead. Let me see.
Good luck.
Too far too. Go too
Good luck.
far too. Okay?
Hey,
Because if I whip my thoughts, I whoop you. I whoop you too. I
that's a
beat
fact.
you. Okay?
And that's how that mindset, like that mindset of like, yo, if I'm willing to deal with me and all the trauma, if I'm willing to fight those battles that's just as old as I am, what makes you think that I'm not going to stand toe to toe with any other human being on this earth?
Mm-hmm.
What makes you think I'm not going to show up for myself?
Yes.
What makes you think that I'm not going to give my best effort? Because every single thing that I'm going to do, I've done, it's already planned.
Mm-hmm.
It was planned. It's a masterful design. Like this whole existence that we have as human beings is a masterful design. We're
Yeah.
only going to be here for a short period of time. While we're here, we cannot be worried about having low self-esteem. We cannot be bogged down with not being able to strengthen our character. This is not what we need to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Time is too short. And one thing I had to even grasp a hold of in the last 3 months of, well, from the November to December, was that my thoughts are not my own. Like the dreams that I have and the aspirations I have, the goals and I have, those are not mine. Those are God. Those are uniquely given to me by God.
Mm-hmm.
And who am I to doubt the man that hung the stars in the sky?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who am I to doubt the dude that created our existence in our bodies that even science can't fully explain? It's simply crazy to even second guess him. But as humans, that's our nature. But we gotta fight it. And that's the good fight that we do each and every day. The more you fight to build your character, the more confident you'll be.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Get an understanding of yourself.
Right.
That's the most transparent you can ever be. Once you're
Mm.
transparent with yourself, there's nothing holding you back from telling your story and saving other people's souls, other people's lives, saving other people's day. You know, I want to say rest in peace to those who have taken their own lives
Right.
due to being burned out. I think about this young lady, Chesley. She was a Miss America, I believe. I never heard of her before. Um, what happened was she jumped off the building.
Mm.
Um, earlier this month, and
Wow.
she, you know, it was suicide. And when I really, really think about it, I was trying to say this earlier, but I think we got sidetracked. But when I really, really think about burnout, when I think about all these things, like some of us are so burnt out because we've been working hard. We've been working hard and we've been doing the right thing. And even if we do see progress, it's still hard work. You know what I'm saying? And we get to a point where burnout can steal your joy,
Mm.
and still your desire to be
Right. To exist.
to exist. And you wondering why somebody's texting me and I can't read these words. I don't know what is this saying? You are burnt out. And I can only imagine what she was going through. Now, if she dealt with depression, chemical imbalances,
Mm.
on top of that, There was no, there was no stopping her from what she did. And it's important to be open and transparent about what you're going through
Right.
when you're going through things. And I know that takes a little turn about just transparency and just confidence, but I did want to talk about that because burnout is real. And there's some of you who right now who are listening to us and hearing us, and we saying a whole lot of stuff, and you just like, I'm tired. I don't want to build my confidence. I don't want to have character. I don't even want to be. Take a break. Take a break. Take your time to yourself. Think good, happy thoughts, yes, but understand that you are forever having to process your thoughts, forever having to build on yourself. And if that's all the time, that's all the energy you have for right now, use that energy for that. And then come back out and conquer the world. So I just wanted to say that because it keeps coming to me, keeps coming on my mind. I'm thinking about the fact that she didn't have that outlet at that
Mm.
time and she couldn't take it anymore. You know what I'm saying? And being transparent is what can save your life in those moments. Being transparent and being open and being honest about who you are and what you're going through.
I'm glad you did take it there, because to the people who are tired, like, all right, let's talk about building something, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to build something, you need plan, right? And then in order to plan something, you need to think. In order to think, you need energy. In order to have energy, you need to rest. You can't do anything without rest. I'm talking about rest, not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Those two big ones, emotionally and spiritually, are the biggest ones. Yes, you can go to sleep. You can rest this physical body. But there's so many people that go to bed at night and they sleep, but they're not asleep. There's a difference. When their minds and their emotions are still running all throughout the night, they toss and they turn and they wonder why they wake up in the morning and they're fully exhausted.
Yeah. You ever had that dream when you woke up, got to work, and then you woke up like, oh shoot, I thought I already did my morning routine.
Mm-hmm. Because your mind was already going to work before you woke up, because you weren't really rest. And there's a balance to life, y'all. Like, there's a balance to this game. There's simply a balance to it all. Because if one thing is removed off this earth, let's talk about the one thing I hate the most, right? Flies and mosquitoes. I wouldn't be so mad at them, all you pest people out there that like flies. I wouldn't be so mad at them if they wouldn't come to my house.
Who like flies?
Fly lovers, they out there. It's a Facebook group. Don't ask me why I know, but there's a Facebook group of fly lovers. Yes, there is. So I hate them. I hate flies that much. I had to go find out where the group of them was at. So
that's odd.
Hey, to each his own, right? So I had to understand that, like, if God would remove those flies off of earth, at some point in time, this whole world will stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
those flies do an important part to keep this entire ecosystem going. Believe it or not, there are some, and this is what I've been watching too on Discovery Channel. There are some parts of the ocean that we don't like that exist. That if they make a certain change, we as a world will be over in a few more hundred years, because there's certain type of algae, if it stops growing in a certain space. I don't know how to explain it all the way, but just know that there's a complete balance to this life.
Yes.
And if you find your way into your balance, not mine, not RJ's, not Mo's, but your balance. Right now, currently, I'm reading a book in my mentorship class called The Perfect Day Formula. I prescribe this book to every individual. Everybody. Doesn't matter who you are, man, woman, boy, girl. Read this book, because it's going to put your day into a perspective for you. See, my perfect life can only happen if I have perfect days. Because why? Perfect days equal what? Perfect weeks. Perfect weeks equal perfect months. Perfect months equal perfect years, and years turn into life. if you master your day to your likings, and my mentor is telling me the same thing, don't schedule your day, don't plan your day how I schedule mine. You're
Yeah,
not gonna be
what you
effective.
think looks better to everyone else.
Right.
Your
It
life.
doesn't matter to you. Like my day doesn't matter to you. If you want to use the bones of how I schedule, maybe cool.
Yes.
But you using my day for your life is pointless. It's gonna cost you nothing but grief,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a distraction to where you're actually trying to get to. So build your day, but you gotta build it on rest. You gotta slow your mind down. You gotta tell yourself time like, yo, listen, it's time for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a routine now because of this book. It's literally at 9:30 p.m. I have no more screen time of no sort. An hour and a half before I go to bed, I can't look at monitors because my subconscious needs to go into a space of rest. My mind needs to be at a space of ease throughout the night because I need to rest my mind. If the mainframe is not all right, the rest of the computer is trash. Shout out to New York City out there. They're out there supporting me. I hear y'all out there giving me that horn. They
Yo,
talking about I'm dropping bars out here. I hear y'all with the horns.
burr, 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 burr. Okay.
Word. That's
Because
the
I know
pump.
you see the frustration on my face. Like,
But it's so crazy. You don't want frustrated. I enjoy it because I miss it. Like I know you like you stuck in it and it's like, I hate this noise. But I'm like, oh,
tell you, I want to move so bad. Just get me off the app because clearly y'all active on the app. This is too loud for me.
shout out to New York City, man.
I'll be sitting here, my headphones on. For real. Like I can't. It's too much noise. Too much.
Yo, man.
I have a question for you.
What's up? Talk to me.
And it might be silly, but it is. But I still want you to talk to them. So I want you to talk to them. Not that you was one of them. Okay. I'm not insinuating that you was one of these guys. Okay.
Here we go. I'm talking to the fellas, y'all. It's coming.
So, but you talk about being transparent, and there's some things that are embarrassing about who you were. Not you, but these people, right? I'm just using them as an example. So, you meet a guy.
No, you can't do that. You can't set up Matt empathetic, right? And then start laughing when you start saying it. It's imbalance in that emotion right there. She about to shred y'all, fellas. All right, here we go.
I'm not. It's just a specific guy. It's just jokes. It's just jokes, y'all. But I do want to see if we could turn this into a lesson for somebody who's really afraid to be transparent. Okay, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the example. Okay.
Yeah, at the example.
Okay. So growing up, you were the pee boy. You peed on yourself. Growing up, until you got a little older, but then you were the pee boy in your town. You moved, right? You went to college, right? You met a young lady, you're happy, you're the shiznit to her, and now it's time to go visit your town. And everybody call you PP. And your name Derek, so she don't understand, you know what I'm saying? Where did PP come from? Right?
Where did PP come from?
How do you help Derek to be transparent about really what his trauma? Because that's trauma. Maybe something was wrong. You don't just pee on yourself till 8th grade for nothing. Something is wrong. Okay. How do you help Derek to be transparent past his traumas?
Well, positive energy and good vibrations, Derek. I'm laughing because first of all, I gotta say I'm laughing because I got tears coming out of my eyes. I'm laughing because it's Mo telling me this story, not because of the story.
No,
I gotta put that out there.
No, it's real. Because there's girls out here who skipped town because she was known for something. So
yes,
we're gonna talk to them too. But you go ahead and talk to Derek.
And I do know a few Derek's, and the truth of the matter like as funny as this sounds, and we're making light of it, but the lesson of this is, if you did pee on yourself, right, like for the 8th grade, like let's see, I know I have to say it because this is what it is. If that was your life, right, there was something wrong, right? Emotionally, physically, there was something wrong, because at that age and stage of life, it's not common for a person to still be urinated on themselves. With that being said, now you have to be at peace with it. You got to be at peace with it. And how do you become at peace with it? Is understanding, like I said earlier in the podcast, it's a part of your story. You can't walk on God's green earth nowhere and change your story. You leaving an area, a vicinity, a location, state, country, it doesn't change the history.
That's true.
It doesn't change your chemical makeup. So yes, if you've peed on yourself until you was in 8th grade, yeah, it sucks. And it's funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's something to laugh at. Like I'm just that much. It's funny to me.
That's funny.
But the truth is, it's your story, and you have to own it. The reason why you were so scared for old girl to see and hear about it is because you ran from it. Your fear showed up twice. Your fear of reality and your fear of being judged for it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be fearful of your own story. First and foremost, number one, the number one thing about your past, you've paid for it already. There's no cost out. You don't owe the past an invoice. There's no balance due. You've paid for it already. Now you gotta own it. Now you gotta take it with you. The reason why you were so embarrassed and you didn't want your girl to know it because you had not owned that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Had you owned it, you'd be like, yo, listen, when I was young, I did. I peed on myself. So what? I don't do it no more.
A lot. Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying, y'all? But no matter what it is and how embarrassing it may be, yo, I got a podcast episode coming out in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You met my man Jovan. Yo, that man's story literally shook my core to find out the fragments of things that he went through, and him still to walk around his head up in the air. You can't tell me, no matter what it is, that you can't own it and not make it a hindrance, but something that can catapult you into greatness. So to the people out there who's peed on themselves until they was in the 8th grade, for the ones that have all kind of embarrassing past, check this out. I'll give you one. I don't have one like that bad about the peeing until I'm 8, but I'll give you one. I myself personally did not know how to tie my shoe until I was like in the 3rd grade.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Something very normal.
I tried, Mo. I tried to help, but I ain't had nothing I could compare to the pee.
The way I myself, brothers and sisters,
My brother.
I couldn't tie my shoe until I was 8, sir.
And you see, Plymouth Rock didn't land on us. Wait, I said that wrong.
We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us together while you was peeing on yourself and I couldn't tie my shoe.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Shout out, Derek. You gotta get out of here.
The reason I asked that is because there are so many things that you could be ashamed of and that you live through and that are embarrassing.
Yo, but look, watch this. We laughed at Derek. Just now, we laughed at what he went through, right?
I didn't laugh at Derek. I laughed at PP.
Okay, we laughed at the PP that Derek had in the 8th grade. So, Derek didn't die. I've been clowned for many things growing up. I've been laughed at. I've been spoke about. I'm probably being laughed at and spoke about right now. But the best part about it all, it doesn't affect me.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't change my bottom line in my finances, in my emotions, in my relationships, my opportunities, or my experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, whoever's talking about me, please talk more. I need the sponsors and the ratings to go up. I'm looking to blow up.
Don't talk about me.
Mostly don't talk about her. So only talk about having this podcast.
Keep my name out your mouth.
Okay, keep her name out. No, keep my name in your mouth. I realize people make more money when you say my name. Say my name. Beyonce, say my name.
And unless you say something nice to say, don't say nothing at all and with my name.
Okay.
Thank you.
Public disclaimer, she's serious. All right, we're about to get our black behinds up off this podcast and go back to work. Well, we'll do some more work because this was work. Like, this is work. We're doing good work.
Yes.
Yo, Mo, what you got for the people before we get up out of here, bro?
Always aspire big so that you can inspire bigger. And that simply means is do your best, go for your best, so that someone somewhere who is watching you feels like they have the space and the grace to do their best too.
Yo, listen, good people. I'm gonna leave you with this. Heal yourself. Be transparent about your healing. Help your community grow. Your testimony is someone else's therapy to get through whatever they're getting through. So your job is to get through whatever you gotta get through, because life is bigger than you.
Amen.
We are our brother's keepers. We must remember that in all our actions, everything we do out here in this earth. Our duty and our job is to not move forward alone, but to bring our brothers with us. So with that being said, good people, remember, confidence is all about how you see yourself. But until the next time we see you, you'll be good to yourself. Take that seriously, y'all. Be good to yourself. And the ones around you. That's important. It's really important. But don't beat yourself up. If you cannot be good to the people around you, that's okay. Just get those people around you. Yo, this is RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman. And
this is Coach Mo, your number one women's empowerment coach.
And this has been another dope episode of the Uniquely Confident Podcast. Y'all be blessed, because we will.
Lady, y'all, my bad, PP Derek. I didn't mean to laugh at you. I was just kidding.
All right. So I'm Derek, I'm sorry. I'm out of here.